God, I wish I had a key fob. 9 out of 10 survivors of the zombie apocalypse have reported they wish they had a faster way to get through doors. Let's see how this scene would play out differently if our hero had a single key fob instead of a giant ring of clumsy keys. As you can see, key fob door access is a fun, convenient, and secure way to get through doors fast. In this video, we're breaking down how these zombie-proof systems work, so stick around because the world is going to hell and the security bros are here to help. You've probably interacted with electronic access control systems more than you think. Imagine you've pulled into a parking garage or even a parking lot and you had to pull that ticket. That's what you have to take in order for the gate arm to go up or the roll-up gate to go up or the bollards to go down. Maybe you use a fob or a PIN code, or maybe you have a sticker on your car, or you enter an elevator and you use your key fob to make the elevator work, or you use that key fob at your office building front door or even to your apartment building. Once you scan it and that electronic lock allows the door to open, you've interacted with an electronic access control system. And funny enough, that parking lot system, that elevator, that door, they all work the same way, and that's what we're discussing in this video. So imagine you're approaching a door, you have your key fob out, and you're scanning it at that key fob reader, or the keypad, as you might call it. Well, that's only one of 5 components at that door, and so we're just going to go right through them one by one, and starting with the keypad. Now, that's what you're going to interact with when you approach the door from the outside. But there's also the electronic lock. Sometimes that's a magnetic lock located at the top of the door. Next to that, you have an exit motion sensor that allows people approaching the door from the inside to automatically unlock the door so they can exit. When all else fails, there's what's called the push to exit button. That's located next to the door, and when the system completely breaks down, that allows people to manually get out of that doorway. Then there's the door contact, also known as a door sensor, and that allows the system to know whether that door is open or closed. All right, so now that we've introduced all the players, let's go through them one by one and break them down into extreme nitty-gritty detail, and I'm going to let Jimbo take it from here.
At your service. Okay, so you walk up, first thing you interact with is the keypad. This is usually connected using 6 or 8 wires, 2 of which power the card reader, 2 of which are used for communication with the system, and the rest are used for individual functions that you may want to use for your keypad. One wire might be used to, say, turn an LED light on the keypad from red to green when you scan your fob, so you know that the door's unlocked. Another wire might make a beeper go beep when you scan your fob. Various functions, some have very little, some have a lot of features, and that's why you typically need more wires. They're made of plastic or metal, sometimes both, and come in multiple form factors. Some might be with a keypad on them, some might be really narrow so they fit on the channel of the door. Next you have the lock. This comes in multiple form factors. Typically you'll see maglocks, electronic strikes, sometimes there'll be a drop pin lock, which is something mounted in the top of the door. A pin comes out, drops down into the actual door, and that prevents it from opening. Another common type of lock you'll see is an electronic crash bar. So I'm sure you're used to going up to the door, hitting that crash bar and going out. Sometimes those can be electrified so that they automatically pull in when you scan your fob on the outside, and that allows you to enter the door. And another common type is an electrified door handle. This will just look like a regular door handle that you see, except on the inside it is powered. So when you scan your fob, power is sent to that lock and it allows you to open the door. The request to exit motion is a device that's mounted just above the door, and it senses when somebody is trying to leave. This allows you to either tell the system that somebody's at the door so it can unlock the door, or it can be used as just simply a notification for the system to know that there's somebody trying to leave. The push to exit button was for panic situations. Say the door is not unlocking, you hit that button and it is a direct override to cut the power to the lock so that you can freely exit the building. These are typically only used when you have a maglock at a door, and in a lot of cases, they're actually required by code, like in our area. And last but not least, you have the door contact. This is usually mounted inside the door frame, and this simply tells the system if the door is open or the door is closed.
You might be wondering, how do all of these devices work together? Well, there's one device we have not mentioned yet, and that one is called the BOSS, also known as a door controller. It's basically a small computer with a bunch of inputs and outputs, and it's located in a metal enclosure, usually in a back room, connected to the internet. How does that work?
So when you come up and you scan your card at a keypad, it says, "Hey James, how's it going?" And then if you are approved access to that building, it'll tell the lock, "Hey, unlock that door for James." And then I will come right through and have a great day. And when I'm trying to leave, that request to exit motion that we talked about sends a little bit of information to the controller that, "Hey, James is at the door." And then the door controller will say, "Hey, unlock the door for James." And guess what? I went on my merry way and had a great day out in the sun. If there's a bad day, the push to exit button is there so that, say, that request to exit motion is taking the day off, doesn't work, having a bad time, the door controller is not going to know to open the door. So I can hit that push to exit button, and that talks directly to the lock and says, "Open the door for James. He's in a bad way and needs to go." So I leave the building and I have a great time. Some places, those push to exit buttons are required by law. The door contact, that tells the door controller if the door is open or closed. And that can just be some useful information to know, say, if somebody came and pried the door open, the door controller is going to send a notification to whoever manages the system using the internet to say, "Hey, somebody broke into your building." The door controller is also what you use if you have, say, a app or some software that you remotely connect to your system. And this is how, say, you have an app and you want to remotely open your door. And there's typically a button that says unlock the door. Well, when you hit that button, it sends information to the door controller that says, "Hey, unlock that door for James."
Exactly. So you're never talking from your mobile app directly to your keypad
Nope.
or your electronic lock or even your door contact, your door sensor. It's all just that door controller.
Yep.
That is masquerading as the door.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people, you mentioned that push to exit button, and it is required by code if you have certain types of locks, like a maglock. One problem with a lot of installers is they wire that button up wrong. It's actually a little bit complicated.
Yeah.
And it's really easy to mess up
Yep.
and do it wrong. And whenever you're installing a maglock, there's like so many sensors that are involved in that process that it is really easy to do it wrong, and a lot of people do. And what will happen in an emergency, when everything goes to crap, they push the button, "Oh no, I'm not getting out of the door," because they did not wire the power for that lock through the button so that it manually cuts power.
They only wired it to the door controller.
If the door controller doesn't have power, if everything's down, not working right, the door controller took a day off, as you say, then you can't get out. And we've seen this happen actually quite a number of times.
Yeah.
And it's very unfortunate because if you were ever in an actual emergency, that would be a huge problem. But hey, if you enjoyed this video, like it so we know, and share it so your friends know.
Bye.
Going down to a 5-year-old level here.
We're going to do the 5-year-old version.
This is whatever version works. Imagine this has to work on the back of a cereal box.
Okay.
That's what we're
You're
going
going to
with.
get the cereal box, 2-chromosome version coming right up. Actually, I should be really good at this one.